live stream Friday. It's actually Saturday. Live stream again. Went late again on going live, but hopefully everybody out there can watch this later if you're not available. This is Saturday, a whole day after I'm supposed to go live, but it being the start of summer, it's kind of schedule's kind of weird. And if y'all don't know me, my name's Cade, and my wife and I own a small orthodontic lab out in the country in this building here, this converted mini house, shed to mini house to lab conversion that we did. And we own a little ortho lab out in the country here in Texas. And with all the rain and storms and stuff that's been happening lately, it's been crazy with the schedule wise. So glad you're tuning in. If you're tuning in, today is speaking of building an ortho lab, we're in my digital room, the office area. So we've built a door. This is a 15 by 36 long building, and we've finished it out on the inside. And so we have a digital room. So this is covering the questions I had last live stream and almost every live stream, questions about what I do about my digital workflow in my small little lab. So the first thing first is this room I'm in. I don't know, here is another view. This is my messy desk that I have with my coffee and everything. And let's see, I got another. There is my 3D printers over there. So I'm going to try and attempt to go over how I get models from the doctor, prep the models both manually and automagically, and then how I nest them in the Preform software. So these are my Form printers. The white one is a Form B Plus dental printer. The two gray ones are the Form 2. So they were, I was going to say last generation. Actually, the Form 3 is last generation. They got a new form out. Let's see if I can pull that up here. So this is the Form 3B Plus for dental. It runs about $6,299. So this is the newest one. I don't have that one yet, I guess. I don't know if I'll upgrade or not. But all that being said, this is those are my Form printers. So I actually have some that have already printed, and I'm going to process them, and that way you can see my processing them also. So let me get busy. So I'm actually going to be using an actual prescription. This is actually one that I do have to print, but I do have to blur out the name real quick. So let me do that and make sure that things that are done. Okay, so let me share this with you. So this is Easyrx, and this is a prescription that I got from a doctor, and it's for a bonded RPE. And if you scroll down here, here are the scans. So when a doctor sends, so they have their own login on their own Easyrx on the back end, and they fill out the prescription and they edit it, and then they can attach scans to it. So Easyrx actually is a digital prescription manager, and it actually helps to collect all the different things from different places, scans from here and x-rays from here and pictures from here, and kind of puts them all together. So when a doctor is actually filling out, for an example, let's say this doctor has an iTero scanner, they can actually log in to their iTero scanner account and actually attach the scan to the iTero Am I saying that right? I may not be saying that right. So they can, when they fill out the prescription, there'll be a box down there with their most recent scan. So let's say they're filling out a prescription for John Smith, and they put the name in and they design it so that like the RPE that you see here is actually, let's see if I can turn that off. Oopsie, I just broke that. Okay. So when they fill out the prescription, there'll be a box down there that's connected to their iTero account, and it shows their most recent scans. So they'll click on John Smith, and so what Easyrx does, it goes into their iTero account, it grabs those scans, and then attaches them to the prescription, then sends the prescription to me. And so this is what I get on my end, and it has, you know, estimate ship date, date needed. We put the estimate ship date on our end. They put the date needed on their end, so they need it on Monday, and I need to ship this out on. So they need it on Wednesday. I need to ship this out on the 3rd, which is Monday, or deliver it by then is what we do. And it also, you can also upload scans here if you have your own. I can upload scans from my end, but these are the scans that I have. So I'm going to click this right here. It's right behind my picture. Let's see if I can go full screen so you can see this. I'm going to click on this 3D Command Center, but I can't click on it yet until I go here and I blur out some names again. So, what fun, huh? HIPAA is fun and exciting for everybody. And let's see, I've got to click on the right thing here. And okay, so let me show this back again. Oh, got a comment. Perry, good morning. Hey, this is the reason, you're the reason we are doing this, is you had some questions about my 3D printer and stuff. So hopefully this helps out, answer some of your questions. And those of you that are watching this recording later, feel free to put your questions in the thing below, and I'll try my best to answer those. Your questions below. So let me do this. Okay, so this is my 3D Command Center. As you can see, I've clicked on that little link, and this is the automagically way I can base models. So I'm going to do this case, I'm going to do both versions. And so where I do that is right here where it says request. I'm going to click on that, and this will actually do bracket removal. If they had brackets, we use this all the time. Actually, we use this on all the bracket removals. And then AI basing. So I'm going to click on this. And so this is, it will actually show you, this is for the maxillary. It'll give you the file name, so you actually know, remember what you're looking at. And that, since this is an RPE, I want to do a full palette. But you do have different options here: horseshoe, full palette, shell mold. Not 100% sure what that is. I need to play with that. And the horseshoe with molar gingiva, removed molar gingiva, that's for something else. But these two are the main ones that I do. You can't see them. My menu didn't pop up. So see, I can go horseshoe or I can go full palette. My trim margins doesn't have anything to do with this. Base height is 1 millimeter. I do hollows. My wall thickness is 3 millimeters, and the label position is down here. And then I can put on here the number of the pan instead of the name, or you could put the initials, and that'll put it in there. So I'll put request, and then that's going to send that file off to Never Never Land, which is called Amazon Web Servers, and it's going to auto base that file. So now if I'm going to do that on the lower. Now the lower, I don't need a full palette. I'm just going to do horseshoe, and we'll change this name, and we'll do request. So I do ask for drain holes right here. Preserve occlusion, don't really need that. And then request. And so now it's sending. So I am going to go back and we are going to wait on those. Now, while we wait on those, I'm going to open up one. So let's do, I usually do the lower first. This opens up a new tab. Y'all can't see it yet, but let me open this up. I'm going to make sure I don't see the name, the full name anywhere. You are seeing the last name, which is probably not a bad idea. Now, one thing I do run into doing these live streams is this. Just waiting on that to load, because I'm live streaming and I'm trying to, a lot of my software is, oh, just popped up. A lot of my software is web-based. So it depends on the internet. So you actually need a pretty good internet connection. I do use a wireless internet connection. I'm out in the country, and there's a Rise Broadband is my carrier. I'm looking into Starlink. I think that would be cool. Let's see. Oh, Perry, I did go back and reviewed your first 3D video with Easyrx and modify the raft. Oh, okay. Okay, y'all did. I think your question was about doing a raft or not, and I'll show that in a minute whenever I go to nest it. But those others that are watching, you'll see that in a minute. I need to blur one name. And this is a great feature to have. And I don't know why that's not staying up. That's getting kind of annoying. But let me share this screen with you. There we go. So this is my view. We are in a web browser. So this is Easyrx. This is Easyrx 3D. This is an upgraded version of just the prescription manager. It also will base the models for you. Now, remember, I just now sent some to the 3D AI, which is going to auto base it for me, where I don't have to do this. But I'm going to show you the manual part of it. Now, I forget what it charges me, $1 something per base. But this is the lower. So we are going to, this is one crazy mouth. We're going to go ahead and do this, and this. This is orientating the model. So if you saw that, it says click left molar, click between first and anteriors, click right molar. And then we're going to do easy base right here. So I'm just working down this right side. I'm in the trim and base model now. So once I've orientated it, I can do this, and I'm going to do easy base, which puts a platform. So this is going to be the bottom of your model. So if you do this, it's going to be a very tall model. If you do this, it'll be a short model. So it's just going to slice. It's like a cutting plane. And the gray side is going to be cut off. So all that's going to be cut off. And it's going to keep the blue side. And that is the height that I want. Again, I don't need much on this. This is just going, I'm going to mount this in articulator. So I just need the tips of the teeth there. So I'm not putting appliance on here at all. Now this is extra stuff back here. I'm going to put a vertical cutting plane, and it's just a matter of clicking here and here. Now the controls are a little different because, again, you're using a web browser. So it's going to cut anything past the molars there. Is going to, the gray side is going to cut all that off and keep the blue side. So then I go here and I do hollow, and I do, actually on lowers I do 2 millimeters. So wherever this plane is, it's going to add another 2 millimeters to the bottom of that, and it just helps to make it more rigid. I'm going to add 3 large drain holes and add base. So while that's working its magic, we are going to move on to the next one. Let's go back to here. Okay. that again, this will take a little while, but actually let me refresh this prescription here and see. Yep, the auto base is already there. So let me pull this up. This is the lower, so I'm going to pull this up and view it so that you can see that. I can actually do this, I think, so you can kind of see it's doing its loading here. And here is the auto base. Let me change my view here, and so you can see this is the auto base. So we saw the label that I put on there. Here's the drain holes. It's hollow, and that's it. So it did. I cut off more back here. The good thing about doing these things, see, it's still loading, mainly because I'm waiting. All this is being done on the servers of Easyrx. Easyrx's servers, which is Amazon. Oh, here we go. Finished. See, we're missing a drain hole over here, but that's okay. And these are the two. Here is the auto base, so we're pretty close. Let's see if I can get a good view of these two. And then here is the finished the manual base. So you have a little bit more control over each of these. So it actually, I gotta put a name on this one. This one does the name automatically, which is great. So let me put a name on here. We'll undo patient name. We'll do patient initials, bin number. So we'll do the same thing. And then we are going to, I'm going to emboss this one so you can see the difference, and add label. So that's actually going to put a little square there. It's going to put ST409 on top of that square where it's going to raise it off of the model. And I'm just doing this as an option to this. I don't think I have that option with this. They always, with the auto base, they always have to be done like that. So let's look at, we are going to go to, we're going to do the maxillary. Click on that and edit. So again, here is the auto base, and here is the manual base. Now you can see where that will help out. Again, it's something you pay for. I tend to use it when, like my son, who just graduated high school, during his graduation week, he was busy and he couldn't come into work. So I started getting behind on 3D printing. So what I did was I actually I did auto base on everything I needed to do, so I didn't have to sit here and base and save and label all these by hand. It just saved me a lot of time. Oh, hello, Mahela. Nice to see you again. And then hello from Tennessee, Iliak. I'm saying that wrong. I know I am every time, but glad that you are joining me on this Saturday. But let me get here. I'm going to base this one. Please orientate the model. Okay, quit yelling at me. All right. And okay, we are back to this. All right, here's the upper. And this is an odd scan. It's kind of lopsided, isn't it? But this is for an RPE, so they gave me the full palette, which is nice, or most of it. So I'm going to orientate. I'm going to click on the left molar. So this is the patient's left. And then we click between the anteriors. There's a gap, so I'm just going to choose one of the teeth. And then, now do this. Notice I rotate it like this. I'm trying to get these 3 points in the plane, and that will make the base be in the same. So the base is going to be in the same plane, the bottom of the base, as this orientation. So let's do an easy base, and notice it just sets it right on top of the most superior pixel. data point, the most top data. I don't know how to say there's a data point that's the most, and it just sets it right on top of that. Again, you do have the option of moving this. You can make a really tall base. So just think of this as the bottom of your base, or you can do a real short base. If you mess that up, you can always click over here at reset. And then, so I'm going to do vertical cutting plane. Click here, click here. This molar's not fully erupted. That might give us some problems. I'm going to give it a little bit of space here. And then I'm going to click hollow. Keep it at thinnest. So on the uppers, I usually keep the thinnest. Base height, hollow base options, 3 millimeters. Add 3 large drain holes. Add base. Triple J Ortholab. Hello, everyone. Oh, it looks like you're doing. That looked like a bonded RPE there too. But that looks like a regular RPE. Mahela, guess what? Chad Daybell got death penalty if you know that. I don't know the case. I'll have to look that up. You're saying that right. Iliac. Why do you get open shells? So that is what I get from the doctor. Those are the STL files. So when they scan the patient's mouth, they that is how the open shells come. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, that's just how they come. That's the STL that I get is the open shell. So I have to base it before I can print it, because the printer won't print an open shell. It's got to be based or watertight, as they say. So that's why that's just how I get them from the doctor. I get open shells from the doctor. The doctor probably could base them if they want to. But usually if they're basing them, they're already printing them. I do have one doctor that sends in, actually, do I have a picture? Let's see if I have it. I think I have a doctor over here. I don't have a knife. I took my own knife. But this is actually 3D printed models from a doctor's office. And so they send it back already based. Let's see, is this thing done yet? Oh, it's done. Okay, so here's the base. Ace of base. And we're going to do patient initials again, and then the bin number. And let me show you what the engrave looks like. So we're going to engrave. And so I've set this to, oh, I didn't mean to, let's delete that. I've got the unchecked patient name. So let me show you each of these. Here's large. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's pretty large. Let's delete that. We'll do regular so you can see that one. So you get some good name options. The great thing about this is I can do all of these things. So I can do the patient now just by clicking a box. So it's actually pulling info. It's pulling info from the patient file. That's the beauty of doing this in Easyrx, and Easyrx has its own basing software. Is it will pull the data from the prescription, this prescription data, over to the 3D Easyrx 3D. And so all you have to do is there's no mixing, which is the beauty part of it. And then let me do auto. So in auto depends on how close you put these. See how tiny that is, or if you stretch it out to here, it's huge. So we'll keep it right there. And notice that part of the T is missing. It's mainly because it's trying to adapt it to, there's a curve around the model. So let me move these. There we go. All right, so let's add that label. And this is engraved, so you got the emboss and engrave. I don't know if I even showed you the embossing. I guess you saw it whenever I did the other one. It's a sad case. 2 children. Oh my gosh, that is. Oh man, that probably hits close to home for you. With your family member that died recently. Um, so this is it. So now all I have to do is make sure you save it. Now all these are not permanent. So this is like showing you a preview. So what it's going to do when you save it, it's going to take all those. This gives you a chance to rename it if you want. But all those uh, things that you made, the name, the height, the base thickness, all that stuff isn't permanent until you save model. Now the beauty about it is it takes the open shell that you were talking about, duplicates it, and then you base it, so you don't lose the original open shell. So when this saves, we'll get back to that prescription page, and we'll actually see the all the different options. There we go. So I'm going to refresh this page. Let me, just in case I lost my blurriness. Okay, here is the bottom of the page again. And so here's the automatic base. So now it just names it original automatic base, maxillary automatic base, mandibular automatic base, and then the name, the prescription, the hollow 1 and 2. So those are done. So let's go back. I'm going to open up another prescription here. Let's go ahead and send these to the, let's see. I'm going to see if I can. Okay, I think I can save this now. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to Easyrx 3D, and let me take this off. Easyrx 3D, and we're going to click on View STL Print List. So I'm bringing up the big wide shot here. Did I even click on that? I don't think I did. Let's try that again. Oh, I blurred it. I had my blur thing set up. There we go. Okay. It's still blurred. That's hilarious. So the reason I'm zoomed out here is these are all patient names here. So that way y'all can't see them very well. Can I blur that real quick? I don't know if I can or not. Ah, it keeps closing on me. I'm using this completely wrong. There we go. Okay. I just blurred the whole page. Looks like my web browser is having a very hard time keeping up, and it's probably well, while that's loading, let's do this. Okay, so one question: how do you onboard new accounts or send requests to them? Good question. There's a couple different ways of doing that, and I can show you that. Let me open up a new tab here, and hopefully it doesn't freeze on me like that one is. Let me start closing down some things here. And let's go with this. Okay, it's, sorry, my web browser is crashing. I'm glad my StreamYard web browser is not. So I'm going to go to practices, and let me share this screen with you. So these are some practices I have. There's 6 pages of them, but you see, create a practice. You put the practice name, email address, first name, last name, that kind of thing. And then you can, right here, well, you cannot see that. Let me, right here, you create, or you can create and invite. And so then that will give you a text box with words in there, and hey, this lab is inviting you to join us. There is a check button that will say you're going to pay for the prescription submissions, and it's a per prescription, so I actually pay for that for the doctors. It just makes my life easier if they'll use this. So I always say I'm paying for your base level version of Easyrx. Let's see if I have this here. So if you go to practice plans and practice, so they have a standard $89 a month. That's not what you pay. You paid $1.59 per prescription that they send you, and you can just add that into the cost of your retainer. And then this is what the lab practice will the practice will pay if they want above that. So there's a base price that they can't sign up for here, and only labs can provide, and it's per prescription pricing. And that gives them $1. It charges me $1.29 per prescription that they send me, which is, I don't think that that's bad. But this one, if they want to upgrade to software integrations, remember how I said that it can do software integrations, like it can go to their iTero account. iTero is an intraoral scanner. It can go to their iTero account and pull prescriptions, pull scans from their MyAlign Tech, whatever software, and it will attach it to the Easyrx prescription and then send it to the lab. But another great feature is it will actually connect to the cloud, or connect to their scheduling software also, so they can actually, in some instances, let's say they're using TOPS or Cloud9 or something like that, they can go into the existing patient file in TOPS or their scheduling software, and then there'll be an Easyrx button, send prescription or whatever, and it will open up an Easyrx window and input the patient name, data, and all that stuff, so they don't have to type it up. They can choose the lab, so they can use Easyrx to use different labs, and then they can go to whatever scan software and then attach the scan. So again, this is a big hub. They don't pay me for this. I've always enjoyed using Easyrx for everything. Here is the lab plans and pricing. If you're interested, they just have a standard $106 a month, and that includes the 3D. Now the auto base, that's a little extra on top of that if you want to do that. And then visual DLP, this will actually do all your invoicing and stuff like that. That's a whole nother video, invoicing and stuff like that. So that's, I got a little distracted, but that is how you onboard. And if you already have accounts, let me go back to here. You'll see there's, on some of these, there's an invite button. So these are ones that, this is like a new one that I do work for, and they haven't started using Easyrx yet. So I can actually click here, and then there's this check button. A pay for practice rule has been enabled for this practice. So whenever you when you set up and then send email and username, their email used, and then a password, and they'll give them instructions on where to go, and then you can send an invite. So that's how that's done for new prescriptions. So let's go back to here, and I need to send these. Let me turn blurry off for a split second. Oh, yeah, that hits on you have autism too. I got it. Yeah, I could see that. That's just sad. I'll have to look that up. No relationship to the Daybell family. I'll have to look that up and see. Let's see. While this is working, let's read this. I'm a removable denture tech. I don't know much about ortho. I saw your man versus machine screen. Is the workflow there that you CNC the wires and then cure and the acrylic and finish tradition? Yes. yeah, so you actually sent me, here is an example of a 3D CNC bent wire. This is a wraparound. Um, and they do lots of other things. But yeah, you would, and I'm trying to get them connected with Easyrx. I think they're already talking, where you could actually send the model to JawDraw, which is their software. And we're talking this thing. Nope. This is a bending machine. Their JawDraw software. So think about it. You go to the model with Easyrx, and then you click a button, like I'm about to show you, sending it to the printers back there. But instead, you click another button, and it goes to JawDraw software, and then you design the labial bow or whatever it is, to the 3D, the micro bender machine, and it bends it, and you take the case pan that you're working with, and you grab the wires, you put it in here. When the printer's done, you take the models, you put it in here, take it to the production area, which is back there. Then you put the wires on you prep the models, put the wires on the models, and then you do acrylic like normal. They don't have any acrylic. Sorry, I just dropped all the papers. They don't have any acrylic thing. CNC. So yeah, acrylic is done the traditional way. So that's what that is. So this this is messed up. Hold on, guys. Let's see if I can just show y'all what I'm working with here. All right, so this is blurry. It's a little Chrome extension, and I'm gonna exit. Please exit. Can you exit? Okay. Now exit. Okay. So y'all can't see this very well, but oh gosh, I'm frozen. Am I frozen? Okay, that's frozen. Let me check that camera. Yeah, I think I lost connection. All right, so the beauty of going live. So there is a check button. So the page I'm on is STL print list, and it lists all the prints. Oh, I'm back. Oh, now I'm back. So it lists all the prints. So if I undo that, you can see it lists every single. So this right here says only show Easyrx 3D based model. So every model that's been based in Easyrx is listed here, and you can go and print it. So you can click here, and it's going to filter everything. Where, give it a second, where it will actually show right here. You can select. So these are the 4 that I just did. There are 2 auto bases and 2 hollow. Or sorry, 2 auto based, 2 manually based. So those are I'm only going to print 2 of them, but I'm going to send all 4 to the printer so you know. But right here in this corner, right here, let me see if I can blurry this so y'all can get in here and get close so y'all can see. All right. And exit. Okay. So let's try this. Hello. I am here. All right. So what I'm going to do is, and I can't do this just yet, but go here, here. I would click these. So these are the ones I want to print. And then I would click printed, and that will actually mark it as printed, so that whenever I do this button over here, it's already shown models not printed. It's already sorted it out. It will sort those out that I've already printed it. So you don't have to like scroll endless list to try to find the model you just did. But you notice there's not a blue button here. So let me show you how I fix that. So I'm going to go to Configure up here at the top. Go down to third-party integrations, and you cannot see that. My face is in the way. There we go. So you go to third-party integrations right here, and this is where you would actually put your My iTero account if you have one as a lab owner, but usually you don't. But that's where the doctor's office would do that. And then these are all Magic Touch API. These are all the integrations that Easyrx does. So there's Formlabs, there's 3D Systems, EnvisionTech, Rayware, Me Utility, Uniz, Shapeware, Flash Dental, Nexa 3D, Live Build DLP. So I don't know where half of these are, but they're all different printers, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Enable Preform Integration on this computer. Now when I do that, it's going to download, as you saw over here in the corner, the web extension. Now I've already installed that web extension on this computer. If this is the first time you're doing this, you're going to have to do this web extension. You're going to have to download it on your computer. It has instructions on how to do that. But once you do it, you don't have to. So now that I've done that, I can go back to here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh the page, and let's see if I can do this. Now I've gotten the button, but let me do the blurry. This is the bad thing about showing. It's hard to show digital workflow because of HIPAA violations. And I wish there was an easier way I could show you all this, but I think I'm ready. Here we go. So I'm back to the page, and now you notice there's a little logo here. And so that's the Formlabs Open and Preform logo. So here's the beauty of this. I'm still in a web browser. I'm going to click all these STL files, these models, and I'm going to click Print It here so they don't show up, so that I can do this button later on. These won't show up. And then I'm going to click this button. And yes, always allow this. This will ask you first time. Click always allow, and then open web extension. So what that's going to do, and while that's working, what that's going to do is download it in the background. It's going to stick it in my RAM on my computer. It doesn't download it to my computer, so my computer hard drive just doesn't fill up with all these STL files. All the STL files are living up in Easyrx until I want to download them. So with that, it's downloading them, it's putting in the RAM, and then it's going to open Preform here in a little bit. Now it's probably going to take a little while because I'm live streaming at this time. And so if you're live streaming at the time, it takes forever, but I'll let you know when it pops up. But then it's going to take those models and it's going to dump them in the nesting software for that printer, and then we'll go in the nesting in my settings for that. I've been bringing model through the back door from our clients, still using paper lap slips. It's a headache, but it still works. I'm trying to get them on board though. They have to pay a fee on their end. They have to pay a software fee, and then I pay a work ticket fee. No, Easyrx will bill you at the end of the month. Preform just showed up. Let me see if I can show that. It just went away. No, it's right there. No, I'm frozen. Never mind. Okay, I'm frozen. But yeah, they don't have to pay on their end. Easyrx will bill you at the end of the month for however many things get used. I'll see if I can pull up an invoice. It's kind of hard to get to. But let me do the nesting software first. And Perry, there is a really cool feature if you're still using paper scripts where, and if you're using Easyrx, you know this. You go and you hand type everything in. It's a little bit of a pain, but you can actually, if you got a scanner, you can actually collect all your paper scripts and scan them all into one long PDF with a bunch of paper scripts on there. Okay, before you do that, you write the number of the Easyrx invoice, Easyrx number on there. You write it on the paper, and then when you scan it in, you just go in there and Easyrx will display the PDF with the Easyrx number that you hand wrote on the paper, because you scanned all the papers in. You got this 40 whatever prescriptions, and then you can key in the prescription number, the Easyrx prescription number into Easyrx, like it's a little text box, and someone else can do this for you. Then you press submit, and it'll take each one of those prescriptions and put them in the Easyrx file. So it's actually an image of the paper script in the Easyrx file. It's pretty cool. I did it a few times, but I would say 90% of my doctors use Easyrx all the way, but I pay for their end. So I gotta share a screen. Window, this, share, and add to stage. Okay, so this is the nesting software. When you first, this is called Preform. This is the Preform nesting software that is, Formlabs is the company name. Preform is the nesting software. And so once you load in, once the Easyrx has loaded in the models into Preform, it'll ask you if you want to repair them, and it uses Autodesk Fusion 360. I always click repair. It found some little gap, or it messes up sometimes, like it'll take out the name if you're not careful, or it'll solidify a hollow model if it's too close. But usually it does a really good job of repairing. So it's repairing, and then here are the models. So just to recap, I went back to the Easyrx software that I was in the web browser for Easyrx, and I clicked that little blue button. I clicked the base the models in a web browser. It's saved it, and then I went to a print list, and I sorted all the prints to the unprinted ones, clicked all the ones that I didn't print yet, and I clicked the blue button. And so this is now what we have. And so this is my build plate. And it kind of gives me orientations. This is the front of the printer. This is the wiper side of it. And right here is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the printer. I don't know why it's not set to show all anyway. These are my two printers that are awake right now. Xeno Goshawk, they name their serial number is actually animal names. So Skitty Brook is like a crow. So it's an adjective and a verb together. It's pretty funny. So Xenio Goshawk is the name of my printer I have. And I use Draft V2, excuse me. Is what I use on all my prints. And all the settings are already there. And I'll hit apply. And so it's going to update everything. There we go. It's updated all this. So now, notice I print directly on. Now this one's upside down, as you can see. So I'm going to flip that over, and I just go over here to the left, and I select base. And I'm going to select the base I want to touch the build plate. And it just flips it over like that. And then this little slider bar shows you the different slices. Let me show this from the side. So you can actually see it being built like this. Now, if you have a keyboard, you can also press page up, and it'll show you the drain holes. Now, I'll show you in a minute why I do the drain holes in the front like this. I'm just going to orientate all these to where the drain holes are either facing the back of the build plate or the front. So then I'll take, let me do this. And then I'll go here to the support section. Now there's a glitch here. If I click on this and then click on none, it doesn't change. You got to do it twice. So this actually shows you there's one with a raft, and then there's one with mini rafts, and then there's it without anything. So these dental models, they're good with, it'll compress the first few layers of, like this layer, these first 2 or 3 layers, will compress them to make sure they really stick to the build plate, but it doesn't have anything, it won't distort the model because the teeth don't show up until up here. So I'm going to have that set for none, and then I'm going to hit auto generate, select it, and that takes a little while. So while that's doing that, I'm going to work in the background here. If I can find my, here we go. Let's see if I can find an invoice so you can kind of see what that looks like. And I'll actually get billed twice for Easyrx. Once you sign up, it's probably a lot different. Okay. I'm looking to see if I can manual bracket removal. Okay, I think I can show this. Internally created 750 RX's plan. That's internally created. I think that's it. Sorry, I'm looking to see it's listed somewhere. That takes a little while. Let me while that's loading, we'll do this. So we're ready to go. See, I look for these 3 check marks, and I usually do like 6 models. So you can see I don't like printing vertical. Printing vertical is fine. It takes twice as long on my printer to print vertical, but you can print twice as many models. So like if you're printing overnight, you can print 12 of these instead of 6, and you'll have 12 in the morning. But my thought is I can print 6. I can go ahead and start working on those 6 while the next 6 print. But if I'm doing 12, so like this is 1 hour and 45 minutes is how long this is going to take to print. Let me calculate the time on that. And so that's going to take 1 hour 35 minutes. So let's say if I do them vertically, it's going to take like 3 hours to print. So if I had 6, maybe it'll take 6 hours to print 6 of them. It's based on the height, so how tall it goes. So you can see if it's vertical. This is 221 layers. If you get into, of course, you have a lot of room. You see how tall my build plate is. That's how tall this thing will print. So that's why that's like that. So I'm going to upload print, and let me go back. So I got these 3 check marks. Cups, I didn't have any cups. Form auto release. Oh, that is for, they have an actual machine you can attach to the front of that, and it will actually do the processing. It'll take it out, dump the models, clean the thing, put it back in the thing, and then you're good to go with the print services. So that's a whole nother thing. Let me see. So I'm going to upload the print, and you can change it to whatever date. So today is June 1st. There we go. And I'll add it to queue. So I'm actually not going to print this because it's a duplicate of what I need. But I did add it to the queue. Let's see. if this thing woke up or not. Okay, so this model here, I already have a build plate in there, and I'm going to show you in a minute how I change it. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so this tells me it's ready to print. I just hit the button and it starts printing. Now it does give me a check mark here. As long as all these are blue, the platform's missing, so that's why I didn't auto print. This will actually auto print, which is pretty cool. So if you have those blue check marks and they're ready to go, it will go ahead and auto print. Now the Form 2 does not. You have to actually physically go over there and hit the button. But this is great. You could actually theoretically print from home if you want it to, and it'll send it to your printer, I guess through the dashboard or whatever. But before I do that, let's see if I have found the invoices. Let's do download and download. Let me see if I can share my invoice with you without giving away too much of my info. Okay, I'm looking. Scan types. Script charges. Okay, here we go. This will show it. Let's see if I can share, present, share screen, window, share. So this is the bill plan that I get, and it shows paid. You know, some of these doctors haven't done work for a while, but here's OPD Smiles. I've paid 100% of submitted cases. They submitted 19 cases, and so I paid that much. This doesn't work out right. Unit price 1. Yeah, anyway, y'all can't see that the whole time. Well, it's not showing the way it, here, let me show this. Perry, this will kind of show you. It shows, paid. Some of these doctors have connected with me through Easyrx, but I've never seen a case. So doctors who already use an Easyrx, they can find you in the Easyrx system and go ahead and connect to you. But they never have sent me a case, so I don't know who that is. But like OPD, they sent 19 cases. So I've been billed out for 19 cases. It's $1, I guess, 19.8. So they're doing the quantity weird. So I paid $19 for however many scripts that they sent. They didn't send 19 scripts. They sent however many that. So then Hero, I paid $30 that month for them. So that kind of, you pay it. If they send a lot of work to you, you don't mind paying that much. Hero was a lot of work last month, which I don't mind paying that much. But if they send you one case, you pay $1 or $1.59. I don't even know if I have down here. Here's Aloha Orthodontics, and they paid, they sent 2 cases to me last week. I paid $3.18. So adding to the queue is how you would print at night. Yes, but that is if you do. Let's see if I can find products. So I'm on the Formlabs, and let's see, the Form 3B. You can add to, I just got someone's face on there real quick. Products, post-processing. So the Form Wash, Form Cure, about to show all those. Those are the large ones. Fast Cure, automation, Form Auto. So this is a thing, and you attach it to the front of your. It's $2,000, and you attach it to the front of your printer, and then you can just load up a queue of all these prints, and it will actually. Let's see if there's a video of it. It's pretty cool. So now this is a huge lab, obviously, and it rotates so you can load them all up. I wish it showed. That's the. Oh, here we go. So it pops it, scrapes off the edges, and then it just pops them off, puts them in that bucket, and then that bucket, in the morning you just post-process them, which is pretty cool. And then you can put, they have like a pump, and you can have a big vat of resin that it pumps into it. It opens the door, goes in there, pops off the models. So that's another 2,000. I don't do that many models to be able to do that, but yeah, adding to the queue is how you would print at night. But right now, it doesn't auto print the next one because it'll sit there, and anyway, it'll sit there and it won't print the next one until it gets the all clear. I don't think it. Oh, there's your. This is all done online, also, so it'll actually show you all the prints doing. Anyway, I hope that answers the question. So let me change the. See if I can get a model going. I don't know if this is going to work or not. This keeps freezing up on me. Can I see it here? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put some gloves on over here in my. I keep a little drawer over here, and so I have. So remember me talking about doing the drain holes, and I point them all in one direction. Well, I've printed them. Here's my print right here, and they're all in one direction. I don't know if you can tell, but there are drain holes in the tips of these, and so it all drains one direction. When it's done printing, it looks like this. It's just hanging there like this. And so when you take it out, it's ready to be taken off. But I like to drain the resin back into the resin tank. So I actually have this form drain tool, which fits on here. And this is one that my son and I try to redesign to try to make room for these handles. So this is a build platform number 2. The number 1 looks like this. It didn't have these wing. I'm going to show you how I do this in a second. I have a really popular YouTube short of me taking this off. But this drain tool I put on here, and you can actually put that on there, and it will all drain. All the excess resin will drain in here. So it's the advantage of printing hollow. You can actually drain out the excess back into here. So let me take that out. So this is ready to go. So let me move over to here. This is my little post-processing area. Let's see if I can squeeze past here. I usually put a paper towel on here, and this is my ready to go. So you take the handles like this, and you squeeze them together, and as you can see, most of them pop off. So you don't have to sit here and scrape on this and try to get this to come off. You just do that a couple times, and it pops off. So beautifully. Now, you can see here it does have a little bit of excess, and so that I do scrape that off. All right, just flew off. So nice and clean. I am going to squirt some. I have a little squirt bottle. I have this on my Amazon store. These are great. It's already labeled for isopropyl alcohol, and you don't have to do this if you're printing the same resin, but I like to clean it off, and that way I know there's no supports that are left over on it. So then that goes back into the printer. Okay. Now, I've set these on the paper towel. Now, you're not going to get every single drop of resin out of there. So I put them on the paper towel, and for me, the paper towel pulls the rest of the resin out. And what I'll do is I'll move it. See, that one didn't have any more. Let me move this one. That had a lot. So I'm going to move it over, let the paper towel pull the last remaining bits of resin. So those are good. That's good. And that one. This one, I actually had to prop up, as you can see here, the extra supports, because it did have cupping here in the roof of the mouth. So I had to, it was on the build platform. I had to raise it up on the build platform so that it would, cupping's bad. So now I'm going to, this is my form wash. I'm going to open it. Now it has a basket in there. And so now I'm just going to put these in the basket. I'm doing that one that had resin in there last. Yeah, there we go. Now, why do I want to take out all the resin that I can, like on this, is because I want to save this isopropyl alcohol as much as possible. The less resin it has to wash off, the cleaner it stays. I can get about 80 to 100 washes on this before I have to change it. So I'm going to set it for 10 minutes. And so I don't know if you can read that or not down there. It says 10 minutes and start. Now, as the thing washes, so it's got an impeller down there, magnetized, and it spins. And every 2 minutes it'll spin one direction, and then it'll start and spin the other direction. So this is actually clean isopropyl alcohol right now. So while that's doing that, I will answer some questions. And the great part about the Form Cure, this is actually the other wash thing. I use it for storage now. But you would put clean isopropyl here, dirty there. And then you would wash, and there's a little wash bucket, and you'd sit here and have to agitate it for 30 seconds, and then you transfer it to there, agitate it for 30 seconds, and then let it soak for so long. This, it's set it and forget it. That's what I like about it. So let me get this set. And then, so just to give you a preview, then I take, see I'm running out of space here. I take it and I put it up there. I have a little rack with a fan, and I turn the fan on, and it dries out the models, evaporates the rest of the isopropyl alcohol, and then I put it on my Form Cure, which is that thing right there. So while that's going, yeah, crazy genius automation, yes, right? So that I could totally see. I have to talk to. I have a friend that has a few of these Form 3s, and they have a Form 4 now, but they do the automation also. He says it's been great, and of course, you know, when 100% of your business is digital models, it really helps out. It really reduces the staff you need to print models. So now, think about it. You're doing auto basing on most everything, and so you got a huge queue, and you can just go auto base, auto base, auto base, auto base, auto base, and it sends it and does it all on the server, and then you come back later and they're all there ready to go, and you just start setting up prints over and over again. So you can almost do this on a shoestring budget, I guess. Not shoestring budget, a one-man show, one-woman show, thing like that. So all right, let's go back to, let's look at the price of this Formlabs. Now, in the description below, if you're watching this, I've put, as a Formlabs user, I can give you $500 off your printer. And I'm not, again, I think I get like 200 bucks. You get $500 off your printer, and I get like 200 bucks in resin. I get free resin out of it. So I like to do that. Now, the cost of the resin, let's see if I can go here. I was actually pricing out here for splints. So that's coming soon for my lab, is 3D printed splints. So I needed a new resin tank because you can't use the same resin tank with a different material, and then dental LT clear resin. So, and it's going to be close to $500 just to get that. So 3D printers, Form 4B. Packages are starting at $6,229. So if you click buy now, this is your basic package. Just tools and stuff that you need. But if you've already got the Form Cure and the Form Wash, then you don't. You don't need this complete package. So it's $6,299. I want to say my first form was $3,500. So they've gone up in price. But the Form 4 seems to be a pretty cool thing. And the reason is, let me go to materials and visit the Formlabs Form store. So the draft resin, this is the draft resin I use, and it is $149 for 1 liter. And I always hope to get at least 100 models out of it. Again, draining back into the resin tank, printing hollow models, you use less resin. Draining the trapped resin that's in the hollow models back into the resin tank saves you a lot of resin. Now, with the Form 4, they have a new resin, model resin. Oh, here is the dental clear resin. It is $350 a bottle, but is a long-term biocompatible material for printing affordable hard splints and night guards. So I'm going to be playing with that soon. I'll bring y'all along for the ride. So then, materials, fast model resin. So this is 1 liter. It's 99 bucks. It's fast model resin. Fast model Formlabs fastest resin, capable of printing speeds over 100 millimeters per hour. Print dental models in minutes, large prototypes, and so it's for the Form 4. So that's the thing. It's only compatible with the Form 4, but it's 99 bucks. It's 50 bucks cheaper, and it'll print a model in, I forget what they said. Speed, print a model in a minute? Print 11 arches in one job in just 9 minutes. So yeah, it's pretty fast. But, and their build platform is actually rectangular instead of square. So precision model, that's for crown and bridge. Gray resin, it's actually, gray resin is pretty good. Look at all those models that they put on that thing. That's crazy. So they're printing vertical there, and then here, clear aligner models, orthodontic models is what it's, and that's just general models. So how long does that have? 3 minutes. Okay. So those that are watching, happy bending to all. If you want one of these bending cups, believe they should be for sale down below. Hopefully, if I've set up everything right. It may not be. But while we are waiting on that, and that's one of the bad things. Let's see. Do I have a shot on that? That one. You can see my little camera over there. Okay. There we go. All right. So brand, let's, I didn't realize we were going to have downtime, but let's see if I can go back into Easyrx and I was going to show, and I'm running out of time. I was going to, and maybe that's another time, is I was going to reset some teeth. And I use a separate program for that. And I was going to ditch some models, and that's a separate program, but I'm kind of running out of time on that. I'm already running over an hour. I usually don't like to go an hour. What would be the benefit of the new printer resin speed and cost of resin? That's the thing, is the cost of the resin. I would hate to use that new resin and then it like not be strong enough to make a model on or make a retainer on. Like if it breaks all the time, that would suck. I'm sure for Essex it's fine, but yeah, I don't. Right now, I can't justify the cost of a brand new printer just to get cheaper resin. And then if the resin, now I think Formlabs, you can actually order a part, so you can actually, hey, send me a part of this resin, I want to test it. So that might actually be a pretty cool thing to do, is, hey, print this model for me using the Form 4B. Oh, there it goes. So that's the best thing. Finish my last thought is that you can order a model from them. They'll send you a sample part. The best thing about this is if you forget about it in this stuff, in this manual dipping thing, if you forget it, you can ruin your model if you leave it in the isopropyl overnight on accident. One thing I do is once I get, see, I have about 41 washes, they'll coming out a little sticky. So that means you need to increase the time or replace your IPA. So increase the time, maybe I go 12 minutes or 15 minutes. But once I reach 80 and they all just start coming out too sticky, even after curing, I go ahead and change that. That's when I change the IPA. But what I'm going to do is put them up here. Y'all can't see that yet. And there's a good test for the durability of the model. So then I have a fan up here, and I have these on a little rack, and you can see where it's dripped. I need to clean that. But I got a little Vortex fan, and I got a switch down here, and it turns that fan on and dries these. And it's just a faster way. I don't really like putting them in here. This is the Form Cure. So if I open this up, you can see it's all mirrored in there. Hello, but it's kind of foggy. I need to figure out how to clean that. And that side's mirrored too. But there are LED lights here and here and here. This is a removable tray, and you can kind of see there's a LED light right there. And so it actually will cure underneath it. And so from what I understand, this is the same wavelength, nanometer wavelength curing light as in the 3D printers. So it's actually curing it. So what I've been told is that when the models come out of the printer, they're about 60% cure. And then you've got to cure them the rest of the way. So these are already starting to dry. So like it's decently dry. So then I can go ahead and put them in here. I'm sure it's not the end of the world if you put them in there too wet. That one's a little wet. There we go. Now, what I try to do is not have them touch, because the lights are going to be, the curing light's going to be bouncing around in there, but if they're actually touching, it won't cure at that point. But another thing you can do is actually take this off and set your prints in there. Those are pretty easy to remove. And then, so it, can't tell, but up here there is a heater, and so it's going to heat this up 60 degrees Celsius, sorry, 5 minutes and draft. Now you can set this to, let's say if I'm doing dental LT clear, like I was just now talking about. If I do that, then it's 20 minutes and it's at 80, so it changes. So all the settings are depending on what you're using. So I hit draft, it cures in 5 minutes at 60 degrees. Now I used to use gray before they came out with draft, and it took 30 minutes to cure at 60. So I used to use that. It took longer to print and it took longer to cure. So the draft has been a godsend. So I'm going to start, and so then the light turns on, and then it starts preheating, and that takes a while. So we're not going to wait on that to finish preheating, but once it preheats, it depends on the ambient temperature of your room. Once it reaches 60 degrees Celsius, y'all can convert that to Fahrenheit. What is that, 80 degrees or not 80s, 100-something degrees. The light will actually turn purple. So it'll switch over and start curing it. So that's it. I get it. That is fast. Well, yeah. Formlabs are not known for being fast printers. But the benefit is it's pretty reliable. I did have to take that machine apart and clean it, but it was my own fault. I was draining on the side and it was getting into the gears, and so I had to go in there and clean all the gears. So that's my fault. I drain them on the front now, so I've eliminated that. But they're pretty reliable. But they've always been kind of slow printers as a different kind of technology, and I think that their resin is a little less reactive. Which actually, I have a friend that uses a Sprint Ray, and she's severely allergic to the resin. It prints way faster than mine, but I think it's because the resin is very reactive, and I use gloves, but I've touched this resin without gloves, and I haven't had a reaction. So I'm kind of wondering. So now they're starting to speed up, and I don't know if they've redesigned the resin that's more reactive or what. Thank you very much for this tutorial. It's been a great benefit. I really wish Formlabs and Easyrx would throw something your way without you. I probably would have bailed. Well, I appreciate that. If you need to get a printer, anybody out there, there's a link below, and it gives you $500 off. And they do throw they give me a store credit of like $200 or something to buy some resin. So that helps out. It's the same one. I really wish Easyrx Formlabs would give you. Thanks again. Oh yeah, Easyrx has helped me out. I used to get a discount from Easyrx, monthly discount. So on the billing, again, they don't pay me for these tutorials. I just like to share what I do, and I hope that helps y'all out there. Perry, who's watching, right now, and those that are watching in the future. Hopefully that helps you out. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments below. And until then, while that's curing, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now that we're an hour and a half in. Ouch. Sorry about that, but hopefully that helps those that are looking into doing this like Perry. So let me get my fancy outro ready to go. But until next time, I'll see y'all next week. Until then, happy bending.